Contact, dude.
Woo! So close!
A little bit further forward. You guys know this place a little bit more when it comes to snakes and lizards, but we're here at the Reptarium in Michigan with some of our favorite people, but this time we're gonna give you the turtle tour. All right, so this guy might look a little familiar to you that watch our channel out there. We have Chief Brody. He is an adult male alligator snapping turtle, and this is an even bigger adult male alligator snapping turtle who goes by the name Bowser. Mike.
Yes.
Mike Wilson.
Yes.
Mike Wilson. Say hi.
Hello, everybody. How you doing?
What can you tell me about Bowser?
So Bowser is our biggest turtle that we have, besides the tortoise. So he is about 115 pounds right now, about 56 years old.
56? Yeah, I never knew his age.
That's like the same age as you, right, Victor?
Oh, you know, I said some of my favorite people.
Okay, sorry.
Way to lose that title.
But when it comes to alligator snapping turtles, he is a very calm alligator snapping turtle, which is fantastic because we get to do stuff like this and do educational pieces and show kids.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have kids come stand right here, take a little picture with him. So it's a great time. We love Bowser.
That's awesome.
He's just a giant snapping turtle.
He is, and you know, take a look inside his mouth, guys. You see that pink fleshy area right in the front of his mouth? That is the lure that he will use to lure in an unsuspecting fish. So he doesn't really have to work all that hard for his food. However, contrary to popular belief, alligator snapping turtles do some hunting, and they will search up and down the river systems for things like clams and other items that they can get those crushing jaws on. What do you think of that? Here is a juvenile alligator snapping turtle, and we're not gonna let these guys get too close. Can you see that? Potential 56 years of age. And then, do we know how old Junior is?
No.
5, 6, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I would say at most this is a 6-year-old. Yeah, I think you're right. So, you know, right now, the shell is nice and firm, but it is nowhere near as solid bone as Bowser's is. So the turtle will change a bit as it grows. But for the most part, these two animals have the same kind of morphological traits going on where they are meant to blend in with their environments by looking like a big old piece of wood underneath the water, a big old piece of wood with a massive, powerful mouth.
A little bit more forward.
So let's put him back. I guess I have to do that, right?
You want to do it? You want to do it?
No, I'll do it. I'll do it. All right, Bowser, you ready?
Don't slip on the
Scary
ground.
part.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Don't slip.
I'll be here all weekend, folks.
Yeah.
Now that I'm soaked, let's go meet some other turtles. Franklin. You guys recognize this beauty? The African leopard tortoise. This is Franklin. Franklin is a boy. And you can see why he gets the name leopard tortoise. Beautiful black rosettes on a light colored shell. Leopard tortoises, Jake, can you actually grab the female?
Yeah.
Leopard tortoises are arguably considered the world's 4th largest tortoise species. And look, that's a pretty big female right now. But if you guys that watch our channel recall, we have Tembo and Savannah who actually dwarf both of these animals. So there's a wide range of size. Some of them stop growing at between a foot or 16 inches, while others can get to be more than 20 inches in carapace top shell length. What's their history? Do you know?
So we don't. We know that all of the leopard tortoises are somewhere like in their late 20s or early 30s.
Okay. You see the pronounced growth annuli. But again, a tortoise, you know, 100+ years for pretty much all species across the board. So I think you guys are both still young. Beautiful. All right. This is Matilda, and she is the giant Aldabra tortoise here, a resident at the Reptarium. And what's interesting about Matilda is Casey and I actually sponsored her new enclosure that's going to be going in over at the LegaSea Aquarium right across the street. We first met Matilda several years back, and she was never a small tortoise, so she has grown considerably, definitely bigger than Mickey. You guys know our Aldabra tortoise, but she's really, really friendly. She stands up for these neck scritches, and she's just so cool. And you're gonna love your new enclosure. This is a definite first for our channel. This is a two-headed turtle, a two-headed male red-eared slider. The red-eared slider is the world's most familiar and popular turtle species, and still to this day, the most heavily traded turtle species across the entire world. I mean, it's no joke. There are so many different color morphs of this animal now. There's albino, there's snow, there's caramel, there's charcoal. Who knows what they're going to come up with next, but what you're witnessing is an animal that legitimately has two heads. And what's even further interesting about this is a lot of these animals that are born like this or hatch like this don't survive past hatching stage. So years ago, Casey and I accidentally hatched a two-headed marginated tortoise, and that animal only lived about 48 hours. But you can see this red-eared slider, a couple years of age now, is still going strong. Both heads are capable of eating and swallowing, and it's interesting how the body acts as one when it does in fact have two heads. And the way you can tell that this slider is in fact a male is it has those incredibly long Freddy Krueger-like nails, and it has a very long thick tail. Also, females are going to be at the very least double if not triple this size. That is super bizarre. So while the red-eared slider may be the world's most common turtle species and one that you guys are used to seeing, there are species on this planet that are truly bizarre, like this. What do we have here?
Fly river turtle.
Also known as the pig-nosed turtle.
Also known as Ike.
Ike.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Ike's a boy.
We have Mike and Ike.
Mike and Ike. Look at that. Really, really awesome. You guys know our fly river turtle, who goes by the name Scuttle. Ooh, he's got a lot of weight. That is
Scuttle.
awesome. Yeah.
Oh, that's such a good name.
Right? Isn't that cool?
That's cute.
We used to have one named Snarfly.
Oh, that's not as cute, but...
So the fly river turtle may look like a sea turtle to you guys, but it is not. This is a freshwater turtle species endemic to places like Australia, New Guinea, Indonesia. They do have flippers, and you see these really awesome nails here. The males will use that to grab hold of the female when they breed, and they also are an extremely aggressive species, so they'll tear each other up by using those and these very powerful jaws. They may look cute, but they can grab a hold of you and bite down, and this animal is not done growing. These animals can grow to be longer than 16 inches.
Oh my gosh, huge.
Yeah,
It's like double. what it is right
really.
now.
I mean, this is such a solid animal, but definitely young. Now, you see that adorable pig nose right there? That animal uses that to, of course, sniff things out, and it will also use it to poke just that out of the top of the water so that the rest of the body doesn't get exposed to predators looking to make a meal out of it. And it's also why it is light colored on the bottom, dark colored on top. So the animal casts that shadow when it is up at the surface.
Can't even see it.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
I have a question. In the wild, like, how easy is it to find one of these?
I honestly don't know. I know that there's a lot of conservation projects, or at least some, to help them. They are endangered, but I don't know, man. I think it would be pretty hard to see them because they don't leave the water. Females will to lay their eggs, but only at like the very edge of the water. They have a very odd, nesting ecology. But really, I don't know. I think it would be pretty difficult to see one in nature. Cool. So it's a treat nonetheless to see this. This is awesome. And although it may look like a soft shell turtle to you guys, it is not. There is a bony plate underneath this, but it is similar to a soft shell turtle in that it has the leathery skin on top of that bony plate. But this is in fact a carapace, and this is in fact a plastron. So it is half soft shell, half sea turtle, kind of.
That's like what I like to call it, the freshwater sea turtle.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, Ike. Cool. You guys have seen a lot of box turtles on our channel, but you've never seen one like this.
He's finally closing his flap.
He's using it.
How cute is
Wow,
that?
he's starting to use the hinge. Come on out.
Tyson, he's like, I was sleeping.
Yeah. Wow. So Tyson is an albino eastern box turtle. So not unlike Otis, who is an eastern box turtle, Otis is the normal form. Here is what he would look like as a baby if he were albino. He is growing so well and slow. How old is Tyson now? Three.
He's 3. Yeah.
Okay, so that brings up an interesting fun fact. That's a 3-year-old box turtle, and that's what a three-year-old box turtle should look like. A lot of people try to get turtles and tortoises out of that sensitive hatchling size as quickly as possible, but what they don't realize is they're actually causing more harm by doing that. These animals are supposed to grow slowly, and in fact, eastern box turtles can take anywhere between 17 and 20 years to reach sexual maturity in the wild. So Tyson, in my opinion, that's what a 3-year-old eastern box turtle would look like.
Yeah, I mean, here, feel the weight too. So like, he's finally getting some size to him. Because when we got him, he literally was the size of a dime. Like, he was itty bitty. You could only hold him between your fingers. Otherwise, you didn't feel like you were holding anything. And so now that he is just, I mean, he's crushing the crocodile that we talked about so many times ago. Still loves worms. He's doing great. I really don't like mess with him too much. We only pull him out for certain occasions, certain people. So he's
fantastic. And I know you're so proud of him. Like, every time we come here, Mike's like, let's go look at Tyson.
Look how big he is. And everybody's like, he's not even grown. But he has.
Yeah, you know, and he's got such a wonderful arc to his shell. Again, natural. He's not pyramiding. He's not, you know, growing in a weird way. You might notice that dorsal keel there. They hatch with that. They have those knobs on the top of the carapace like that. And as they grow, they smooth out. And by the time he becomes a really, really ancient adult, that can be completely smoothed out at all. And there will be no keel whatsoever. But he looks fantastic. He looks so, so awesome. And it's an albino. That's cool. Nature Boy Adrian right here, everybody. We'll put some links in the description for all of his accounts that you can go follow. What are we holding?
Pink-bellied side necks.
Where do they come from?
Australia.
Yes, they do. And what is weird about these that's not what we normally see?
These two are actually albino.
Yep. And how can you tell they're albino?
Because they have the pinkish red eyes and they're not their normal colors.
Wow, this guy's got some attitude. Look at that. See that?
Yeah.
Wow.
This one's super chill.
Yeah, that one is chill. Do you know how to say their scientific name? If you could say it 5 times fast, I'll give you the biggest high five of your life. Emidura sublagosa.
Emidura sublagosa. Emidura sublagosa. Emidura sublagosa. Emidura sublagosa. Emidura sublagosa. Emidura sublagosa.
Was that 6? Wow. Okay. All right. Awesome.
That's a hard name to say.
Yeah, you did it though, dude. You nailed it. So, the normal form of these animals, it's a little bit easier to tell why they are in fact called the pink-bellied side-neck turtle, because they will have a beautiful pink belly, a dark carapace, darker features overall to the skin and head, and they will not have red eyes. Really, really awesome, good swimmers that come from Australia, a freshwater species of turtle that is very popular in herpetoculture, and I think the albinos are starting to become more popular as well now, but at one time it was insanely rare to see the albino form of them. So thanks, dude. That was awesome. What do we got?
Razorback musk turtles.
These are awesome.
They are so cool. I love how much personality they all have. It's like every one that we pick up is always a little bit different.
Yeah. And these guys have quite a painful bite. Casey knows a little bit what it's like to get bit by a musk or mud turtle. These animals can crush snails and small clams, things like that with ease. They're bottom feeders. They scurry along the bottom of shallow water areas. They are not the best swimmers, even though they do have webbed feet. They don't leave the water too much. However, Razorbacks will bask a little bit more than other musk turtles will.
So we almost never see them at the top. We do see them at the bottom all the time, and the kids always think they're like rocks or something sitting down there.
They are so cool. And what's cool about them is, for those of you out there that are interested in working with freshwater turtles, a lot of people gravitate towards really big species like red ears that are eventually going to outgrow something, and you're going to have to come up with a new plan, like putting together a pond or a huge tub or a massive baby pool or a pool of some sort, whereas this animal right here is nearly fully grown. It's not going to get much bigger than this at all, and it's a lot easier to keep. It's a lot easier to work with, and they have just as much personality as something like a red-eared slider would. In some ways, they're hardier, and they're a lot of fun to watch, right?
Oh yeah, they're like right at the bottom, and they're like, shoo, shoo, shoo.
Yeah.
It's like Lightning McQueen in turtle form.
Yeah, beautiful shells too. They don't get enough credit. See that? So gorgeous. The South American redfoot tortoise is one of the world's most popular tortoise species. You guys have seen plenty of them in our videos, and here is a beautiful adult female that lives at the Reptarium. The redfoot tortoise gets its name by having red feet or red legs. Some call them the red-legged tortoise. Redfoot tortoises are full of personality. They're a big favorite in herpetoculture and many people work with them. And in a recent video, we showed you guys the Brazilian cherry head form of the redfoot. Well, this is going to be your more typical northern form of the redfoot tortoise because throughout South America, they vary in appearance from locality to locality. This is an adult female, pretty typical size, but the species can grow to be more than 16 inches. And AJ, you got a younger one here for us? So how young is this one? Do you know? No? It looks like it's almost at subadult size. Really beautiful. It's got quite a bit of red on its head, which is similar to the cherry head, but this animal is in fact not a cherry head. And one of the ways you can tell is just by looking at the plastron. The plastron of the more typical northern redfoots has more yellow and very little black content, whereas that of the cherry head is really, really contrasted with a heavy content of black and marbling on the plastron. The head is narrower, and the red is more of a true red than an orange red. Just a couple fun little facts on how to differentiate redfoots.
Yeah, he's so cool.
He is really cool. What do you feed him?
We normally feed him salads. I mean, I don't really see these guys a lot because they're in the basement, but I love redfoot tortoises, even though they don't get seen a lot. But they're just an easy tortoise to actually keep as a pet.
They are. They really are easy. They require a lot of humidity and they love water, but they are a forgiving species and they're a lot of fun, a lot of personality, right? Cool.
And they don't get as big as sulcatas and all those tortoises.
That's right. And speaking of sulcata tortoises, Hayden Smith, everybody from State 48 Turtle and Tortoise. We've gotten to spend a little bit of time together this year.
It's been wonderful.
It's been awesome, right? Hayden does some pretty awesome work out in Arizona, where some of our other friends are. And this little albino sulcata tortoise is one that he produced, right?
Absolutely, yeah. This is one of the last hatchlings to hatch this year and blew up in size, and that's why we thought it would be a perfect fit here at the Reptarium and LegaSea Aquarium.
Awesome, man. So, is there anything different in terms of personality or size that you've noticed with albino compared to normal?
Yeah, so personality, I feel like they are much more docile. They, contrary to popular belief, they do not have any issues in the sun. People have talked about for years the need for UV protection for these albino sulcatas. I've kept mine in full sun for the past 6+ years with zero issues at all. It hasn't made their eyesight any worse. They haven't had skin problems like people thought in the beginning. And honestly, temperament-wise, they're just a little bit more chilled out. They don't beat you up, they don't chase you around, and they kind of just hang out. So.
And we happen to know a little bit about sulcatas trying to beat you up and chase you around. That's exactly what Speedy's trying to do right here. But there's a little comparison for you guys. Albino and normal, both sulcata tortoises, but completely different color morphs. And these guys, will they really stay this yellow or white throughout life?
If you keep them clean, they will. I've seen full-size adults that people keep indoors or they keep them clean and they stay that bright yellow even after being in the sun as well. Mine are permanently stained with dirt, so they don't look this pretty, but if I got enough elbow grease, maybe.
Well, there you go. There's the product of your hard work. It's a beautiful animal, and yeah, thanks for sharing it with us.
Absolutely. Excited we could.
Well, Casey and I are so incredibly proud of our friends in Michigan. Everyone is working so hard on the Reptarium, the vlog, building the LegaSea Aquarium across the street, and just everything else in between. Brian Barczyk was someone very important to us, more than just a friend, and it's hard to believe that he's gone almost a year now. It seems like just yesterday he was coming to film with us for the very first time back in 2016. Brian, hands down, was a dreamer, and he planted the seed that his family and staff are now growing into his ultimate dream come true. And words really can't describe how amazing the aquarium is already, and as they near the finish line to opening, it's so heartwarming to absorb the massive accomplishments they're making in bringing this thing to life. Brian was and is the Walt Disney of the reptile world, as I once told him myself, and he surrounded himself with a truly remarkable army. We can't wait for everyone to see the new aquarium and the Reptarium, but to quote Casey, don't just come for the animals, come for the people too.
Such a good girl. I always tell people, literally, I don't know that the Reptarium would be here if it wasn't for this animal.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's the relationship that I bonded with this animal that caused me to want to do it 100%. I've been wanting to do a reptile zoo since I was a kid.
Yeah.
But she was the one that said, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Because I knew that we could have this type of experience
Yeah, you're right.
at a zoo. And I was like, oh, I've got to share this with everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't keep this to myself.